Good morning, everyone. This is Austin here with you again. It's Tuesday. How are you today as you hear my voice? You hear me say, check in with yourself as you listen to this video. It sounds simple, but it's important to know where you are so we can feel a little bit better, especially in the face of crazy things that might be happening in our world today. I was a little off this morning as I was preparing for today, and I really wasn't sure what the topic was going to be today. And then it just came to me. I wanted to talk about this. Where does depression come from? And in lieu of recent news, I wanted to ask you, is the world a terrible place? What do you think? Is the world a terrible place? When you think about the world and life and things that are happening, is it a terrible place? I just want to welcome you in. I always welcome you to share a positive message. If you don't share this, then share something else positive with somebody today. Because my belief is that the world is not a terrible place. And I also want to talk about where depression comes from. I know people are silently struggling. There's people that are fighting a silent battle of depression. I've been coming on here every morning. This is number 14. I made a commitment to myself and to people that were following my last video blog where amazing things had transpired. And when I stopped that video blog, people were messaging me. They missed it. They wanted it to come back. And I realized how much I missed it and how valuable it was for the people that were in my circle. I made a commitment to do another video blog, and that's this one called FWD Movement Daily, where we focus on how to get free, stay present, and move forward in our lives and our relationships. And as I got ready for today, I was preparing this, and I wasn't sure what the topic. I was a little bit off, going through some things personally, and I thought, this couldn't be a better time to talk about these things. And as you're listening to me this morning on this Tuesday, where are you? Are you battling with depression? Do you think the world is a terrible place? And as you picked up, I got Tom Petty playing in the background here as a tribute to somebody who loved what they did. Music is a powerful medium to reach people, to touch people, to make people feel better about their day. So as I opened up, where are you this morning? If you don't feel good, maybe you could pop on some music to feel better and turn off the news. We live in a world where the news gets us instantly. And the idea I was playing with last night is collective loss, where the horrific acts of one person can create the feelings of collective loss because of the news. So how are you this morning? It is Tuesday, and there's a lot of things to feel great about. It's about keeping it real. We want to keep it real. We want to acknowledge where we are. We want to see if we can feel a little bit better, because there's amazing things that are happening right now in your world if we look, if we dig. And I just want to say good morning to everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm here again. This is number 14 out of 100. And as you're listening to me, if you just popped on, you're curious, I want to ask you, what do you want? What do you really want between now and the end of this year, 2017? We just turned the page. It's October. And it's important for you to check in with you. Where are you at? What do you need to do to feel better? What do you really want between now and the end of the year? What do you want to be, do, have, give, feel, and or experience in your life? between now and the end of 2017. Maybe you want to set some new intentions for 2018. Maybe it's time to turn the page. Maybe you're coming out of a season of life and it's time to look ahead for the first time and step into possibilities. What's possible for you? Regardless of your situation. So hello, everyone. How are you this morning? Hello, Olia, Eric, Alicia. Hey, Conchetta. I hope you're feeling better. Hey, Joyce. Hey, Lisa. Lisa Jersey, Lisa DeYoung. We got two Lisas on this morning. Where does depression come from? Are you depressed? And by the way, if you want to throw something out here, if you're somebody that you are dealing with this and you want to be bold enough to put it out here, I will engage you in this little box here that we're talking about, and let's see if we can get some things to churn up. Because the big idea here with this, I said this before, there's all these programs out there. 7 steps to this, 5 ways to do this, 3 ways to hack happiness, and it's all these different steps. And what I've uncovered and what I've realized, the big idea is that if we can create a space for people, right? If we can create a space for people to get real, then they can get clear and they can ultimately get free from things that they've been dealing with for decades. And it's happened in my little circle here where people have been able to step in, get in touch with who they are again, and step away from the BS of the world and step into their BS, which is their best self. But where does depression come from? Are you depressed? Here's my belief, my humble belief on depression. People say, hey, the rain falls on everybody. The sun that rose and shone, and the sun, that same sun that was rising up here for me today in Philadelphia and shining on me also shined on the other side of the world. Some of the same water that rains on us rains on everybody. Life happens. And it's what we do with it that makes all the difference. So where does depression come from? This is my humble belief about it. Depression certainly there's horrific things that happen to people. This isn't about all of that. I mean, some of those things we can deal with, and I'll talk about that. But it's the thought machine. It's the thought machine that constantly never stops. A friend of mine, who's a psychotherapist, Joanna Kleinman, she has a program called The Inner Critic. And it's the voice in the head that never stops. That's always telling you that you need to do more, you need to make a change, and it's the thinking. And in my opinion is that depression, because we have happy thoughts, but research tells us that most people's thinking is negative. It's of a negative nature. And so what happens is we tend to latch onto these thoughts, these negative thoughts. So one negative thought comes in, and what happens is we latch onto that negative thought. Instead of letting it go, instead of realizing that when the negative thinking or the negative thought or emotion comes up, that there's a space there. There's a space where you can observe it. I know this is probably a little deep, but I want to serve you today. I want to reach out to you if you're that person that's going through something right now. The mistake is to think that whatever you're going through is permanent. Life is a journey. You're going down the road. If you see something you don't like, keep going. What depressed people do, they see the thing that they don't like and they park and they say, this is it. Meanwhile, if you're listening to me, you got up this morning. You're breathing. Hopefully you're not hopefully you're not in a high level of pain that you can function. Can you swallow? Can you eat food? There's 50 people that lost their life the other day at somewhere they would never expect by some psychopath. We're alive, and so is the world a terrible place? I want to hear your shares. What do you think? Say hello, check in. Let's feel better no matter what. We can look at what's going on, but we can also look at the great things. We can look at the small little things and celebrate those things to feel better. So what do you think about depression? And is the world a terrible place? And I had Tom Petty playing here. There's a little tribute. What is your dream? Do you think Tom Petty had a dream, for you Tom Petty fans out there? And he wrote a song called Running Down a Dream. It was a beautiful day. The sun beat down. Had the radio on. I was driving. Trees went by. Me and Del were singing Little Runaway. I was flying. I love that line, of that song, because when I heard that line of that song, I'm imagining Tom Petty before he was, before he made it big, and that's him. Like, he's in the car. It was a beautiful day. Sun beat down. Had the radio on. I was driving, and he was singing the song Little Runaway, and probably dreaming of becoming a musician someday. And my whole thing's about your dream, your relationship. And so this is a great little microcosm of somebody who had a dream and went after it and made it. I mean, do you think he had a dream? You think he loved what he did? Why shouldn't we all do that? Why shouldn't we all do that? Why shouldn't we all uncover what our gift is, what we love to do? I love to interact with people. I love to reach in and have conversations, deep conversations that matter, that can help people. And that's why I've been on here every morning. And this is number 14. And it's a little quiet out there, everyone. Does anyone want to come on with me live? Does anyone want to come on with me live right now? Let's see what time we got. Who wants to come on live and has something that they want to say? Or do you want to type something in? I'll just say this. We're talking about depression. We know that people are going through something. We know that if we look at the numbers probably don't tell us, because some people are fighting a silent battle. They can't even think about a dream. And so what I want to say is this, to give you something of value today. If you're hearing my voice, if maybe somebody shared this with you, your thoughts are happening at rapid pace. It's what you choose to latch onto and follow. Because what we do, if we're not paying attention, I want you to imagine that you are an observer and that you have a thinker in your head that's constantly producing thoughts. We know that most of them are bad, and some of them are good. If you're not paying attention, you're going to just take the negative thinking and you're going to morph it into you, who's the observer. Because where'd that thinking come from? Did it come from our parents? Did it come from a person that told us we couldn't do it? You can't do it. You'll never do it. Is that what's driving us? Did we come from? Are we dealing with a mistake that we made that we can't get over? I'll tell you this. I researched billionaires. Most billionaires have failed way worse than anybody else. So the typical billionaire has dealt with bankruptcy. And not to bring up Donald Trump, but he dealt with bankruptcy, and that was a big thing in the news. But the thing is, most billionaires have dealt with bankruptcy, major failure. The bottom drops out. They screwed up. They failed. The difference is the billionaire realizes that that's a possibility, and that almost is after you bounce back up, you realize that that was a necessary ingredient for you to go to a higher level. So whatever you did, whatever you screwed up, you can just make it a part of who you are and drag yourself down. Or you can go, that was necessary for me, and now it's a stepping stone for me to go further than I ever thought possible. And the thinking, as far as the day-to-day thinking, be the observer of the thinking. You don't have to react to every thought that pops in your head. You don't have to be reactive. This is the work of Stephen Covey. There's stimulus and there's response. Whatever happens, we can respond. We respond to it. And some of us are like, the stimulus happens, we react. And the goal is to take a space and say, wait, I can choose my response. But here's the difference. Choose the response to the thinking in your head. You can let it go. You can breathe, take a deep breath, and realize that the thinking that you're happening could be from negative thinking from a long time ago that you just continue to allow, and you allow that chatter in your head. And I'm here to tell you, if you want to change, if you want to create a breakthrough, if you want to see the world in a better place, step away from the chatter. And I believe the world is not a terrible place, especially in lieu of what's happened. How could you say that? The world's a terrible place. Because one bad thing, one horrific thing, grabs the attention of the collective consciousness of everyone, or most people that are dealing with it. So it makes it so big, it morphs all the small things. I have a friend, Mark, and what he's doing is today, he's just going to do small acts of kindness. He's going to smile at people. He's going to compliment them. He's going to open doors. That's not going to make the news. See, the great things that happen to us every day, we just become immune to it. We don't celebrate it anymore. We stop. And I'm asking you today to celebrate the small things today. And let me just go back here real quick. All you're saying, do concentrate on the positive thoughts. So why not just put all your focus on the positive thoughts? Why give the negative thoughts more power than the positive thoughts? It's your choice. It's your choice. It's to be aware of what you're thinking when you don't realize you're thinking, and choose to latch on the good. And I don't care how small the good is. I got up this morning. I feel relatively healthy. That's a great starting place. And good morning, Jenna. Joyce is saying depression, yes. Most people are not aware of having. I eat a lot when I getting depressed over things in my life. When I do know I'm getting depression. So Joyce is saying that she eats when she's depressed. How many people eat? Again, you can raise your hand. No one's watching. They can't see you. But if you are somebody who eats when you get depressed, that's because we're trying to escape. That's because the depression happened, the thinking happened, and what happens is when one depressed thought comes in, if you latch onto that, there's a whole army of buddies, The one depressed thought comes in, guess what? That one depressed thought has a whole bunch of friends that want to come in too, and they want to hang out in your head. And then what happens is you don't realize what's happening. The next thing you know, you want to escape. You feel like a victim and you want to get the heck out of here. And some people will kill themselves. Some people will overeat. Some people will grab a gun and shoot 50 people. It's about being aware that you are not the thought machine. There's something deeper, and you can choose your response. You can choose to what you're going to latch onto. As early as, like, when can you do this? Right now. Right now. What is good? What is good in your life right now? What is amazing in your life right now? Forget the news. Forget someone's posts on Facebook. What is amazing in your life right now? God, I woke up this morning. I'm relatively healthy. I like where I live. I have the opportunity to get great food anytime I want. I can go get great food. I can take a break. I can rest. I can go for a walk. I can exercise. I can call up a friend or a relative and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I love you. I can forgive someone that wronged me. I can just be right here and right now and say, this is great. I can open a door for somebody. I can smile at somebody who looks depressed. There's a better part of mostly everybody in the world, and it's important about to bring that out. And that's what I want to do for you, and that's why I'm spreading this message. So I ask you to share this message with somebody today. Emily sleeps. You know what, Emily? That's good because that's my sister-in-law, sweetheart. I love the fact that you put sleep because sleep is so important, and it's one of the things that I'm working on right now to do better. I found out that when I sleep more, I'm better. And there's Tom Brady just came out with a book. Tom Brady, the quarterback for the New England Patriots. It's called TB12. And one of the things is I think he goes to bed like 9 o'clock at night. He gets like a full, whatever it is. He makes sure that he gets his sleep. And for a lot of us, we're so busy, we don't stop and get that sleep. We stay up too late. We get up too early. We're running on caffeine all day, and we're creating this pressure cooker, and then we hear the negative news, and then we get angry, and then we think about we're not paying attention, and then these thoughts are coming in, and we're grabbing a hold of them, and we're thinking our life sucks. It's like, let's step away from that this morning and be the observer of what you're thinking and choose to latch on to what is valuable. And all you're saying, manage your reality using mindfulness. Yes. What is mindfulness? We're going deep here today. I can't help it. It's just what I do. And for those of you just stepping into this, like, what did I just step into? First of all, just feel better no matter where you are. That's important. But I love this comment. What is mindfulness? I believe that mindfulness is just the pure conscious awareness of everything, void of reaction to it, inclusive of your own rabid thought machine that never stops, and that research tells us that over 80% of it is of a negative nature. If you are walking around unconscious and 80% of your thoughts are negative, you are going to feel bad most of the time. And if you have psychological problems already, you might just pull out a gun and shoot 50 people. That's how valuable becoming aware is. To be aware that you're not the thoughts. You're the observer of the thoughts, and that you can choose how you are going to respond to those thoughts. This is one of the most valuable lessons that I learned in my life. And another rule that I'll give you is that when I'm tired, I almost completely disregard the thoughts that I have. So when my battery's drained, those thoughts that come up, I don't give them a lot of credence because I go down. When I get a good night's sleep, I wake up, it's completely different. So this is what I have for you today. I ask you to share this with somebody. Maybe just one person needs to hear this message today. And I will tell you, I have an event coming up this weekend on relationships. I'll put the link in here. If you're interested, it's about relationships. It's about, when you think about your most important relationships, do you feel pain or lack of fulfillment? If that's you, you may be interested in this event. I'm going to stream it live, and you can also attend it live. I've gone way over my time. I'm going to end this now. You can type in FWD 11, which is this weekend, and I'll also put a link in here that if you want to get more information about it, you can do that. So let's just be a light today. Let's just be a light in the world today. I put a quote up the other day that said, if you are a light, imagine that you are the light, right? The light doesn't curse the darkness. It simply expands into it. So what I would say to you today, take up my friend Mark's advice. Open a door for somebody today. Smile at somebody today. Say a kind word to somebody today. Just do something, because it's in those little acts of kindness that can change the world. And I'll tell you a story tomorrow. I get on time now. I'll tell you a story tomorrow. And I told this story many times, but it's so valuable. It's about a man who committed suicide. And it's very interesting. And I'll tell that story tomorrow. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end on this note. And Lisa, we still want a song for the day. Maybe you got another one, but so here's the song, one of the songs for the day. Lisa's going to give us another one. It was a beautiful day. Sun beat down. So as you're listening to this, think about your life and the direction that you can take it from where you are. What's next? If you missed it, I talked about Tom Petty and his dream. Did he have a dream? I was imagining him driving down the road. This was an actual thing that happened to him. So with that, I love you all. Have an amazing day. Continue to work to get free, stay present, and move forward with your life and your relationships. It's possible, and it can happen as early as now. It can happen as early as today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing day.